Okay, use social media to practice your pitch. Use social media to practice your message. Don't practice on the customer. You practice on social media. Why? Because when you watch yourself back, you're gonna say, ooh, I shouldn't say that. Ooh, I need to go more into that. Ooh, I have something more that I could expand into on. The reason being is that when I was doing this, and again, I'm teaching you guys stuff that I do every day. This isn't made up. There's no cracking of anything. This is actually what works.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're gonna give some people some time to come on. I am super excited about, oh my God, this live today. I've been looking forward to it. I know it's going to be crazy and off the chain. Guys, I want to tell you, the gentleman that I'm about to bring on, I have admired him for so long. And I'm not going to go too much into detail because I don't want to ruin it for you. But all I can tell you at this very moment is you need to share this with your friends. Let them know that they need to come on. And if they're looking at this in a replay, you need to make sure you share this. Now, what we're going to do, we know that it's in the middle of a work day, but what we're going to do is we're going to save this and we're going to also add it to my YouTube channel because you really, I'm telling you, get your notepad out, get your pen out. When I tell you that this man is going to give you some amazing tips, I mean, it's going to be hard. Stick with us from the beginning to end because you never know what he's going to say and you never know what he's going to offer. All right, guys? So hopefully, real quick, Robert is here and we're going to bring him on without further ado. Hopefully, let me see. He should be putting an invite now to join me on this live. I can't tell you all how excited I am about this. This is going to be insane. So while he's getting his stuff together to come on, make sure you share this with your friends. Hold on one second. Let me see. Oh, here he is. Great. Great. Robert, are you there?
Hey, man.
There he is, the big man, Robert.
How you doing, buddy?
How are you, brother?
Man, I'm good. Working, doing my thing today. It's Friday, so we don't stop. We just keep going. Actually, I just treat every day like Friday. This way here, I'm never disappointed.
Exactly. Okay, Robert. First of all, I got notes, so I want you to know that these are the notes that I took from a live and some stories you were doing earlier this week and last week. And when I tell you, man, you blew my mind. I had to ask you to come on here live because I've known you now, I would say maybe 5 years?
5 years, that sounds about right. 5 years, yeah.
About 5 years, right. And from the day that I met you and your energy and your integrity and the way you're intentional when it comes to business, and then most importantly, your consistency. You're the same way all the time. You don't have those high and lows and you don't change. You are the same person every time.
That's right.
It's just who you are. And I'm just, first of all, I'm blessed to know you, man. You know, the people that I know that work with you, they're blessed to know you. You're just incredible. So we love you.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Very kind.
Yes. Tell them who you are and tell them your title. Tell them what you do in the name of your company.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Robert Syslo. I run Syslo Ventures. It's a promotion and marketing agency. We've got about 350 clients around the world. I train somewhere in the vicinity of about 700 people a week in promotion and marketing. We do web design, graphic design, video production, and I do one-on-one training when it comes to marketing. And so I've been doing this for about, I would say 17 years, but on my own for the last year and a half. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's quite a wild story, which we'll get into on the live, but the whole deal was just, you know, I wanted to solve problems for people in marketing because anybody could be an advertiser, anybody could tell you that they're going to promote you, but there's a lot of key information that I saw that was missing that I discovered when I left my other job that needed to be handled. And so I handled it, and that's what my company does now.
Well, let me just say, you did beyond handling it. So let's just give them some ideas. Number one, you started this aspect of your business how many months ago?
I would say it will be 1 year in May.
It'll be 1 year in May. Okay.
Yes.
And when you made the decision to start this new venture with your company, tell us a little bit about your mindset. What were you thinking at that very moment when you made the decision, the definitive decision that this was what you were going to do?
So I'll back it up that led to the decision because it'll make more sense. But when I left my job, I had a non-compete. So I couldn't talk about advertising. I couldn't talk about promotion. I couldn't talk about the very thing that made me money. And so, you know, I'm an ethical guy, so I didn't want to create any problems with that. Anyway, so I basically went dark on social media for about 6 months. And I tried 2 other ventures, 2 other businesses that I tried to launch and get off the ground. And they were both bad decisions, both for me and the people involved. It just wasn't a good messaging. And, you know, I lost all my savings. So when I left, I had about 4 months of savings saved up to do the jump, right? Because when you're like, all right, I'm gonna go be an entrepreneur, I mentally had to get myself ready 6 months prior to the decision. Like I already started to think about it. I already tried to plan out what is the worst things that could happen, what are the best things that could happen. And so about 4 months in, I lost all my money. And I think I had $200 in my bank account. I had to pay rent at that time it was $3,300. And I had $200 in my bank account. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how I'm gonna pay rent. I don't know what I'm gonna eat. I don't know how to do this. Now, this isn't the first time I've been here. I've actually was homeless about 10 years ago prior. So I built myself up, pulled myself all the way out of that, had a great job, you know, built a multi-million-dollar ad agency working for another entrepreneur. And then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go try this on my own. The thing was I made the wrong decision with the people who I chose to align with. And I didn't trust myself. I knew I should have done it myself,
right,
my way. But anyway, so I lost it, and I had to get rid of those people. And I was sitting there, and I'm like, all right, what am I going to do? What do I know? And I just made the decision. I said, all right, I can't promote on social media, but what could I talk about? And so I just started talking about my experience. I started talking about my life. I started to talk about paddleboarding, which is what I do. And within the first week, I made $10,000. And I was just like,
based on you talking about,
I didn't talk about anything more than myself and my world and what I thought and what was going on. And so I was like, wow, okay, great. So then what happened was I scaled that to 150,000 within 60 days. And so that was like incredible. I couldn't believe that I had done that. And I had some help. Like I called some people at my church. I mean, I'm a Scientologist, so I got resources where I'm like, all right, what should I do? What do you guys think?
Yes.
What, that's why I study so much, because I'm always trying to move in the correct direction. And they were like, all right, let's look at what we can do. And so I did it, and the business just took off. And so I went from basically having nothing to I was making my monthly income that I was my entire monthly income at my previous job. I was doing that practically every week. And that was really incredible for me because I've never made more money than that before. But it wasn't easy. Like you have to be super ethical. So I would call people. I would ask them, do you know anybody that needs some production work? Like I would just start reaching out and walking that very ethical line so that I could help people and I could eat. You know, I had to eat. I had to survive. I had to live. So it's tough when you're confronted with that. Oh my God, I don't know what to do, and you're fearful, you're panicking, you don't know how you're gonna pay for your stuff. And then the next thing you know, I just got rid of all the fear and I said, what's the worst thing that could happen? All right, I lose everything. Great, I accepted the fact that it could happen. I didn't wanna not confront it. And the moment I did that, there really wasn't anything to be afraid of. And so I solved the problem. And so now, here we are a year later. Now again, I had that non-compete for a year till December, so I kept doing this thing. And December 1st, like if you look at my stats and my income, they kind of hover at the same line. But December 1, when I just like said, that's it, like I'm free, let's do this, my income shot up to a brand new level. Like it's insane what we're doing. So we got 350 clients, and we've got a staff of 6 right now. We're still going. I had my highest week ever in sales last week. This week,
in the midst of this epidemic.
During the epidemic, yes. we've actually expanded more during the epidemic, to be honest with you. And it's because of what I did. I've already gone through something like this before. I've already been in a situation where I can't get my damn hair cut because I'm like, you know, like I've already gone through it. And trust me, I need to get my hair cut right now. But
that makes two of us. You see a big old beard.
But anyway, so we're expanding, we're helping people, we're training people, and you know, we can go more into that later on, but it took a tremendous, like I just put the blinders on, and my girl at the time, and you know, she's over here sitting there right now, I just sat there and I would work till midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I would just work. I would close a deal and I would work. I wouldn't worry about people going out. I wouldn't worry about partying. I wasn't worried about buying fancy clothes. I wasn't worried about anything but the basics of what I needed to survive. Then when I started to get a surplus of money, I said, okay, I'm still not going to buy any of that stuff, and I'm just going to reinvest back into myself. So like I could go out right now and probably buy a Ferrari if I wanted to. Like I could totally do that. And then I decided, no, I'm going to reinvest into the company. And that's what I've been doing. Like I could go buy Louis Vuitton clothing. I could go buy anything I really wanted without consideration. And I'm not doing it because I'm not into that. I'm more into the how many people did I help today. So that's where it comes from. Just threw a lot at you there. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee.
Okay, listen. I kept looking at myself in the camera saying, keep close your mouth, keep close your mouth. Because you are telling me, I know you were telling me something I did not know. And one thing I do know, you didn't complain.
No.
You kept all that to yourself.
No.
And because I always say, and you know Gloria, she always says this, a pity party is the most expensive party to have.
Yeah.
And clearly, but how did you handle the fear, Robert? How did you handle, because people right now are afraid. And I always say that the fear turns into you becoming paralyzed, and then you go from being paralyzed to being depressed, and then you just don't move at all because you get stuck in the mess. So how did you take yourself out of the fear and being paralyzed into, I'm going to go get this mode?
Yeah, so it's not that I wasn't devoid of fear or that I didn't feel paralyzed, because I definitely felt those things. But what I did was I just started to get productive. Like I started to create, I started to build, I built my website. I started to plan my entire business. I started to map out my entire training course. There's 170 videos in there. I just started doing everything to get my mind off of death, right? To get my mind off of like, this is horrible right now. And what I found is that I felt better. I felt more productive. I felt confident. I realized that I had a lot of knowledge. I realized that I was very capable. And so I started to just reinforce myself with my own production. And then when that happened, I said, okay, so I'm not doing that bad. Yes, was I making $1 million? Was I doing insane numbers? No, I wasn't. But I was doing really well. And I was no longer in survival mode. But the problem was, especially now, you know, it's designed to paralyze you. It's designed to make you go backwards. It's designed for you to lay on the couch. It's designed for you to do that. What you have to do is go the opposite of where everybody else is going. And that's what I did. So if everybody's running over here, I'm running over there. If everybody's going to go on this platform, I'm going on that platform. I don't follow what anybody else does. And I don't know if that's correct. It's just what I believe is working, because the second I fall into the same bracket, I'm no longer able to distinguish myself. So I identified who was Robert Syslo first. What did he have to offer? And then I reinforced that with all the content that I was promoting. So then the other thing that you said something that I wanted to comment on. You were talking about paralyzing and fear and complaining. Yeah, I had a lot to complain about. There was a lot that I could have bitched about. There was a lot that I could have created drama about, which again is the inclination of what you want to do. But instead I was just like, no, why would I want to taint my brand with this? Why would I want to keep that kind of energy in my space? I don't have any negative anything in my universe. If anything negative comes in, I get rid of it. I try to handle it. If it doesn't get handled 2 or 3 times, I remove it. That's people, that's business, clients, it is what it is. You know, I make sure things are very black and white. But again, even now, you know, you could hop on Facebook and Instagram and you can see all the insanity that's going on out there. I don't look at it. Somebody asked me, they're like, how do you not look at it? I'm like, I just choose not to look. I just choose not to take it in. And I don't participate in any type of controversy or drama or anything. Like, all my posts are about my business. It's all about helpful, tactical information. And when you start to do that, you unstick yourself from being paralyzed.
Yes, yes, yes. That's what I'm talking. I was, you know, I'm going to publicly say this, and I kind of gave you a little bit of a tidbit of what I was dealing with. I told you that, you know, I gave up everything and I relocated, and I put myself in a position because I turned 51 and I was going to, you know, I've been in the beauty business for 37 years. And I said, you know, I'm not happy here anymore. And I know there's more for me to do. And so I gave up the house, I gave up the business, and I knew that I had to make a decision. But when I gave it all away and I gave it all up, I became scared. And then the fear stepped in and I became paralyzed. And then when I became paralyzed, that's when I couldn't move. And so I happened, and you didn't even know I was going through this because you were working with our other friend.
Yeah.
And every time you spoke to me, I didn't complain.
No.
But I did, this is what I was going through. And so when I called you, well, first, when I saw your story, and like I said, I took notes, and the things that I stuck on my wall, it's on my mirror, it said, stay out of controversy online. That was huge. You said, keep moving forward with production. Oh, I was in school with you, Robert. I'm telling you. You said, call a lot of people and always promote. But then you broke it down for people who didn't really understand it. You said action, discipline, producing, delivering, and talking. And I kept looking at that, and I kept looking at that over and over and over again. And then something came to me, and it said, we might fail, but we will never quit. And if we never quit, we will never fail.
Wow.
Somebody said that.
Yeah.
And I looked at that and I said, okay. So I called you immediately, and I said, look, let me just define the direction that I'm going in. And let me figure that out, which is what you said you had to do. You had to write your plan out, get your website done, so on and so forth. So I say all that to say it's the mindset. Once you make the decision, you can't go back.
No, I can't. Like, I can't. There's no, like, I physically would not be able to stop or go backwards because it would actually probably make me sick. And it would just, I would end up hating myself, which is why I went out on my own in the first place. It wasn't that where I worked was bad. It was just as a personal integrity viewpoint, I was getting eaten alive by my own desire to do something bigger. And I'd come home, I would cry about it, I would be angry about it. I was upset. Like, everybody thought it was awesome for me. They were like, oh man, you're killing it. I told some people that I'm gonna do this, and they're like, you're fucking nuts. Oh, excuse me. But I was just like, I was like, no man, like, I have to do this. They're like, why would you do that? And then here we are a year later, and I'm sitting here like, this is the best decision I ever made. I've got the most freedom I've ever had. I've got the most money I've ever had. I'm helping the most people I've ever helped. But I had to go through that really strange kind of period of that first initial jumping off the cliff and building your parachute on the way down. It was like, all right, I'm falling, I'm screaming, I'm upset, this is scary, I gotta land at some point. But the second that you can, like, hit it and say, this is the direction that I'm gonna go, and just throw yourself into it. See, a lot of entrepreneurs, they'll tell you, like, yeah, it's hard, it's difficult. I wouldn't say it was hard. I don't think that it was hard. I just think it was a challenge to navigate. And I think you have to have a certain type of mentality to be willing to experience that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And thankfully, I did a lot of personal development in that to mentally prepare for this.
Mm-hmm.
And
what would you say, just a few things mentally, just tell them some things that you did to mentally prepare you for this step up that you were about to do in your life, knowing that you were never going to go back there again. You made a definitive decision, and then you moved and you didn't stop.
Yeah, well, I spend probably in the last 4 years, I don't know, maybe 200,000 on my own mindset, maybe more, I don't know, something like that. Mm-hmm. And I could have taken that money and invested it into real estate and invested it into other things. But for me, I was like, that will always be there. Mm-hmm. That's not even going to be worth enjoying if my mind is a mess, if mm-hmm. I'm anxious, if I'm fearful. I don't really experience fear anymore. I don't really experience worry. I'm just kind of like, all right, well, that could be bad. We'll handle it. Like it's more of a I'm going to handle it kind of an attitude as opposed to like, what do I do? No, that doesn't really.
And that's what most people do. They don't know how to practice emotional management. They just go into, oh, it's the end of the world, and then they tell everybody about it.
That's right. See, now I could have, and I'm very sparing about my own story. Like, I was homeless. I've gone through some insane stuff. I don't really go into that too much because I don't want to use that as a ploy for people to follow me. I personally, I don't care about that stuff anymore because it has nothing to do with today. What matters today is, did I produce enough content for my clients? Did I promote on social media and help someone today? Was I ethical in my business and my life today? And did I stay out of controversy and gossip and help people? Like, that's where my mind's at all the time. I'm like, how much content? Like, I've got projects right now that I have to finish, and I'm like, where are we at with this? Like, minute to minute is how I operate. And people are like, visualize this and all that stuff. I do that. I think about where I want to go. But the majority of my energy is based on what am I delivering for people today? And it's black and white. There is no...
Have you always been that way, Robert? Or did you have to train yourself to be that way?
In a way, I think I was always like that. Like, I didn't want to do a bad job for anyone. Like, I hate, I wouldn't say people pleasing, but I wanted to do a good job. Like, I just like because I sleep better at night.
Yeah.
But where I really committed to that was when I became a business owner, and it was like, wow, I have to take care of my employees. I have to close deals. This client needs this client needs that. This client has this question, And if I don't answer that, if I don't solve that, I lose my power as a business owner. See, if I let things go for too long, this goes with projects, this goes with fear, this goes with people. Okay, let's just look at it. What's the worst thing that could happen? All right, right now, things are going really bad. What are we going to do? I could sit here and I could worry and I could say I could lose everything, or I could get really creative right now and try to combat what's happening. Because if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down swinging everything I got. Because at least I know I didn't just die. I died like in a flaming glory of explosion, And I love my explosions, as you can tell. But the thing is it just comes down to, was I always like that? Not really, but I always had a really strong work ethic. Like, I wake up, I'm not an early riser, but I work late. Okay, so I don't know if I'm just going to wake up at 4 a.m. thing. I wake up at 7, I'm at my desk by 8:30, and then I go to bed at 11, 12. Sometimes I work till 1 o'clock in the morning, and I still outwork people that are getting up at 4 a.m. So I don't think that it's, I think it's what you do in the time that you have. And was I always like that? No, that's where my training and my study and practicing, that came into place where I could do the job of 8 people in an hour. But you have to just start with the first thing, which is what's in front of me that I need to handle right now. Okay, I got to pay my bills. Great. What can I offer today? And you know what? Don't go for the $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 deal. Get $1,500 today. Get $500 today. You'll feel better. You'll be like, oh, that's nice. You do that 5 times, that's $1,500. You do that 10 times, that's $5,000.
Wow.
So I started changing my viewpoint on income because it all stacks, right? Yeah. So whereas before, the way that I made money was a little bit different. Now it's like, okay, all right, I could train someone for $1,500. Great, good. Okay, now I could train someone for $1,000. Wow, I just made $2,500. Or I could do a package for $3,500, and I could help someone and I paid my rent. Now it's more than that, but back then I was like, I just paid my rent and I did it. And the second you have that small little win of income, it could be $50. I don't invalidate $50 at all. I'm like, that's lunch. Okay, good. Like I always relate money to something. I'm like, that's lunch, that's my car payment, that's my rent, that's my, that's this. Okay, I can advertise with that money. Like I'm always thinking, for an artist, I'm very conscious of where that money's gonna go and how I help someone. But of course, do I like big deals? Of course I do. I closed one last week. It was great. But if somebody says, hey, I want you to train me for the month for $2,500, I'm like, sure, let's go. Or hey, I bought your program for $400. I'm like, awesome. Like it's all adding up to the whole. And that's where I value money differently. I don't look at it as like, I love money. I love that. It helps me, but it's a little bit different. It helps me get what I need. And so I can be secure and donate to my church and help humanitarian campaigns and all that stuff. But that comes from the insane work ethic that I have. Like I don't let projects go. I just sit there, like I work from home, right? I could go out in the ocean. Now I can't, but in the past when I could just go out at any time in the middle of the day and go surf for an hour. But if I have to do something, I get that done first. I don't just drop my responsibilities.
If there was any tips that you could give some of our followers and the people that are watching this interview, and they want to change, I tell people now, in the midst of this epidemic, as we are quarantined, it's now time for you to take your life out of other people's hands. Stop working for people to help them create their dreams and start to create your own. Now, I'm not saying people quit your jobs. That's not what I'm saying. You could work your full-time job and make your part-time fortune. But if people want to take it to another level and they're unhappy with where they are and they make a decision to do something different, what are the steps that they need to take to make that happen?
So the first thing that I looked at, I'll just give it as it relates to me, was when I started to feel the urge that I wanted to go out on my own, the first thing I asked myself is, have I done everything I was supposed to do where I am? Have I not neglected anything? Have I done everything I needed to do? Like, am I clean? Is it a clean line for me? Or am I doing it because I dropped responsibility somewhere? That's the first thing that I checked. Okay, good. Everything's clean. Everything's good. Okay, now we can make the transition. Then the second thing that I would do is then I would identify for myself, what behaviors do I have that maybe are not contributing to my forward progress? Okay, so as opposed to sitting down and maybe editing 10 videos today, or do I go listen to somebody else on social media? Do I take a lot of advice from people? I don't take a lot of advice from people. I don't actually listen to a lot of people. I stopped listening to a lot of people. I listen to one person, and that's it. That's where I go at my church. I listen to one piece of data that works. And if you're going to listen to someone, okay, here's the third thing. Then I assess the information that I'm going to deploy out, okay? And I ask myself, the information that I'm receiving, does that make me feel bad or does it make me feel better? And if it makes me feel bad, it could be a post, it could be a story, it could be anything. If it makes me feel like confused in any way, I'm like, I don't know. I don't listen to it. That person loses all credibility in my mind. Why? Because I don't know why you're trying to make me feel bad. I don't even know why you're trying to communicate that right now, because it's not helpful to anyone. Who are you actually talking to?
Right.
So then I take stock of that, and then I say, all right, good. Where am I? How am I going to communicate? Am I going to make somebody better? Then I take stock of what I know. What knowledge do I have? What services do I know? What products could I create? Like we were talking on the phone the other day, like you were talking about the fashion industry. Okay, I can't open my thing right now. Maybe we do some training on how to do hairstyling. Maybe we train other stylists how to haircut better on Zoom. Yeah. Maybe I coach someone. Maybe I do color tutorials. Maybe I do makeup tutorials. I don't know what that is. But then I look at what is available to me to create with. That's why I got into web development. I taught myself web development in 7 days. Why? Because clients need it.
Yes.
Okay, I can make videos, I can promote for you, but they need websites. And as a business owner, I have the liberty to say, oh, we're going to offer this product now. And that's what I did. And that was a huge revenue increase for me, only because I decided that we needed another service to help other people. So what is in front of you? Those would be the steps that I would take. And then when I move to promote about it, I have to take responsibility for the people on the other side of it and say, what do they need? What do they want? What are they struggling with? And then I need to communicate to all those different areas with my products and services. Then you're golden. At that point, you can literally run. That's exactly how I scaled my business to where it is today.
Wow. You know, when you were talking about you stopped listening to everybody, I've always said, you know, I don't listen to people that I'm not willing to trade places with. And that's just, it is what everybody has an opinion. And most of the time they try to, when you begin to make a change in your life, they always have the first opinion because number one, they're uncomfortable with who they are and they're not willing to do the work too. So they want to remind you of who you used to be to bring you back to where they are. And that's usually how society works. And so you got to be mindful of the people that you're hanging around and talking to and getting information from, because that determines what direction you're going in and how you're going to get there. But people don't get that.
No,
they don't get that.
And they allow it. You allow it.
Yeah.
You allow it to stay. I don't allow it. Like if somebody, like I've removed people from my world that were just like slightly negative, just a little bit. Yeah. And I was like, it would zing me in my universe, and I'd be like, you've got to go.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't want it. Like I say this all the time, that my attention is one of my most protected assets. Because my
attention is one of my protective assets.
Yes.
Ooh, you need to write that down. Oh,
it's true though, because let's just, I'll give you an example. Let's say you're going to go do something and then someone says something that's slightly like you've probably experienced it before, where you were like, why did they say, like if you walked away and you were like, damn, that person, what the hell was that?
And where
don't
did that
allow that. I will say, hey man, why did you say that? What is the purpose of that? Why are you saying that? Mm-hmm. And they'll be like, oh, no. I'm like, knock it off.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in my space, that's not what we're going to do. Sorry, I got a little aggressive there. But
no, I love
honestly, though, I allowed so many people, and it's what led to my initial cause of homelessness, is that I allowed these types of people around me, and I never stood up and said, get away. Don't
say that one more time, because that's big, Robert.
Yeah.
That added to your homelessness because you were listening. Well, I'll let you say it, because that's big.
So like friends, family, the girl I was dating at the time, this was like 10 years ago, it was just negative, and it was designed to just suppress me. And the second that I would kind of make allowances for it, and I'd be like, oh, I'll be nice. And they'll guilt trip you, and they'll make you feel like you owe them. No, dude, I don't owe you nothing. You're not paying my bills. I don't want to go to sleep at night upset or distraught. You're gone. And the second that you can kind of overcome, especially as artists, right? So we're kind of like, we're a little different, you know, we have different viewpoints. And when you can protect your space and your attention that way, your production goes higher. All I think about is like videos, income, sales, and how am I going to live a good life? Like that's all I really think about all day, and delivery. If anybody comes into my space and they start jagging around with it, even slightly, they're gone. And I have no problem cutting them out. I've done it before, I'll do it again. And you have the right to do that. Because then I had to really ask myself, well, what value am I, if I don't even value my own attention and my own freaking mental state, how am I going to help anybody else, right? So if I'm coming from a place of, you know, oh, I got these people around me that are giving me problems, and my whole energy level, I start becoming really depressed, and I just kind of like drop down. Now I'm like, I've got energy all the time because I don't have that. And that's what led to my homelessness, is that I allowed it too much. Actually, any problem I've ever had in life had to do with that. Really.
Because a lot of people are in situations and relationships and job situations that they know that they're unhappy, but they refuse to move because they're looking for acceptance, or they're people pleasers, or they're what I call professional followers. You know, I was talking about this the other day. There are people that just follow people because they vicariously live through them.
Well, again, but it's also like I can't fault anybody, because I used to be like that, but I had awareness to know, I was like, this isn't working. I need to solve this. This isn't working. This isn't working. And if you have something like that in you, there are ways you can get out of it. And I'm telling you, as somebody that comes from that experience, you can actually just take the step. Like it's really, and again, like working in a situation you don't like, or being in a relationship you don't like. I know we're kind of going all over the place.
Yeah, yeah.
But you have to be willing to lose it. Like, just be like, I'm willing to lose it. I'm willing to lose it. Like, and because I'm willing to, it has no control.
Right.
So how can something that is designed to affect me take the virus? Okay, I'm willing to have this happen. Okay, it's happening. Now what?
Mm-hmm.
What am I going to do? Okay, good. I'm going to create. What am I going to do? I'm already home. Might as well create on it, right? I'll watch Netflix later tonight, but for the day, I'll do what I got to do and make sure I deliver. But you have to be willing to just say, okay, I'm willing to lose that. Okay, I'm willing to lose that relationship. Okay, I'm willing to go homeless again. Mm-hmm. As long as you continue, and you said it, as long as you continue to do the right things, the right actions, the right products, you know exactly what you can offer. Mm-hmm. What is the worst thing that could happen?
Wow. I know you and I can go on, and yeah. I know you don't have a lot of time. Your schedule is busy, but
I'll block off an hour for you, man. So we can go for another 30 minutes if you want.
With the time of us going through this epidemic and being quarantined, what can people do right now that are unemployed, been furloughed, wondering how you talked about it, you had your last $200 in your account, and you knew you had to get busy. What are some of the tips that you could suggest for people right now that are in a really bad place and they need to know what to do? What can they do? What are your thoughts?
Okay, so I'm going to say this, and it may be a little harsh, but and I realize this about myself. When you're in a bad place, it's because you've allowed it to happen. Mm. It means if you're deciding to be upset, if you're deciding to let this happen, you've mm-hmm. allowed it. So mm-hmm. step one is to be like, I'm done. Okay, mm-hmm. I'm over it. Now mm-hmm. what? Next mm-hmm. thing I would look at, now I did that to myself because I realized, I was like, wow, I ran out of cash. I saw the signs. I saw this was bad. I saw this wasn't going to work from day one, but I allowed it. Mm-hmm. Right? And then I said, that's it. No more. No more, no more, no more, no more. And then I got busy. So the next thing I did was, what is that one thing that I'm good at, that I start with? Okay, video production. Let's start there. Then I expanded. Okay, graphics. Okay, websites. Okay, promotion. Okay, advertising. Okay, training. So then I grew 7 or 8 products out of one thing. So find the one thing that you know you're good at. Whatever job you were at, you were hired because you had some sort of skill set that is worthy of exchange for money. Mm-hmm. So I would call every single person in your phone book, mm-hmm. every single friend you've got, and I would say, who do you know, or do you need help right now with what I do? Pay me $500 to do it. Pay me $200 to do it. You got it. All you got to do is get one deal to start the action, just one. And mm-hmm. I guarantee you, there are people out there that, sorry, somebody called me, that have 200.
That's okay.
$100 to pay you, or $300 to pay you.
Okay.
Right? So the first thing is good. All right, we're deciding that we're going to change the situation. Done. I'm not letting that happen. 2, what do I know? Okay, there's one thing. 3, good. Let me call people. And you'll be surprised. I'll tell you what happened back in last April. When I started to talk to people, I was like, hey man, good to reconnect with you. Do you know anybody? Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll put you in touch with John. And John's like, I'll put you in touch with Frank. Then all of a sudden you've got 10 leads out of nowhere. And you're like, wow, there's actually hope. Then you have this awareness point where you're like, wow, I actually have the ability to do this. So you just have to get over that initial like pressure of going the opposite way of retreat and just take one step. Okay, good. I wrote that down today. Good. You made a step. Good job. Same thing. That's how I handled the homelessness. I was like, okay, I need to brush my teeth today. Like I went back to it sounds stupid.
Yeah, but it makes sense.
Basics. It was like, did I brush my teeth? Did I take a shower? Did I do my hair? Am I clean? And then and you just start putting little points of control in your world. And then you're like, oh, okay, good. That's strong. I like that. Then you go up and you just ask a question of your friends. And I'm not even talking about cold calling. Somebody's talking about cold calling here. I'm saying call your friends, call your family. Who do you know around you that needs my service right now? Pay me $150 for an hour, whatever. That's what I would be doing. I would be actively observing for who I could talk to, who I could reconnect with that I haven't connected with in a while, and then turn that into an opportunity for myself. And if you're in fashion, like my girl, she's watching tutorials on YouTube about how to dye hair and get softer hair. I'm like, why are you watching that? She's like, I like to watch it. I'm like, good. She's a candidate. Call her.
Right.
Or like I see women posting on social media, my hair's a mess. Reach out to those women and show them how you can help. Hey, for $100, I'm gonna fix your hair right now.
Wow.
What would $100 do for you today if you've got laid off and you're like, I just got $1,200 from the government, and I know that that's not going to pay my bills. I know that's not going to pay that's not going to last. And then you're just like, dude, I just made $200. I'm gonna train this girl over the internet how to clean her hair so that it looks good, because we can do that.
Yes.
Wow. And then all of a sudden you're like, I got a business model now that is now proof, or recession proof, or whatever, bad news proof, right? My business is bad news proof. Even if social media went away, I still have ways to make money. So that's it. You just have to actively open up what's around you and observe that. You know what I mean? That's it. And it sounds like when you're in that space, you're like I remember I couldn't move. I was bored. I didn't want to do anything. I wanted to watch Netflix, but you have a choice. I could go back and work for $30,000 a year, or I can make $30,000 this week. What do you want to do?
Oh, wow.
So that's really the game that I look at. It's where am I wanting to go? And I'm not saying that, and do I think I was always an entrepreneur? No. I mean, I was always ambitious and wanted to try things, but I was like, I need a good job. And then I got exposed to it, and someone showed me how I started to see other businesses expand. And I'm like, well, what are those guys doing? How do I get a Ferrari? How do I do that? Oh, I got to run my own company. But there's a whole thing connected with that, but I'd rather have those problems than the other problems.
Yeah.
And I would rather work till 12 o'clock at night and be excited because I trained 6 people today on how to do their hair and I made $600 than sitting there for 6 hours being like, my life's going to die. I'm going to die today. It's a totally different viewpoint shift. It's just a little bit of just instead of looking there, look there. That's it.
Okay. Tell us real quickly before we go, what services your company offers and how do they get in touch with you? I know they can follow you here on Instagram. We can follow you on YouTube. Guys, let me tell you, he has an incredible, amazing YouTube channel that you will learn so much and that you can connect with him on YouTube. You're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, and
Twitter.
Twitter
made me $5,000 2 weeks ago.
See what I mean?
That's not even a brag, and it wasn't even an attempt. Like I posted a picture, so I bought this kind of computery thing, and it glows, and it's got all this light. I just posted a picture. Somebody thought that was cool. We started talking, and that's how I get my business, man. I very rarely tell people to go to a website and buy. I just share my life, and then we talk, and then I'm like, well, hey man, what do you do what's your business? Oh, well, I do software development. Oh, awesome. What are you doing to promote right now? Nothing. I need help. Oh, really? Oh, let me see how, and that's how I progress. I just open up conversations with people. So
that's incredible.
I'm using that as an example because I had nothing, and that's how I grew it. But you can direct message.
That's how I grew it.
Yeah.
You know that you gotta write that down too. You know that, right?
What? What was it?
I had nothing, and I what?
Grew it.
Grew it.
That's it.
That's huge.
And I take little wins, man. $250, $300, $400. Man, that's great. I get 2 of those. I just made $800 today. 800. Do the math. 800 times 30. That's what is that? That's $2,400, maybe more. Or I might be off by that. That's $2,400. No, that's more than that. That's 24,000. I don't know. Anyway, I'll just do another example. You do $500 a day times 7. That's $3,500 a week.
Right.
What would 3,000, and you get one person a day to pay you 500 to do something over internet. One person a day. You can't do that? I think you can. It's easier. Okay, bare minimum. Let's go bare minimum here. Let's say you make $500 a week, right? You could supplement your income. You can make $1,200 a week. You can make your stimulus check every other day. Right? So it's just how do you look at it? And how do you change that viewpoint? So if you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram, all those platforms. I have a training course. It's $400. It's a one-time pay. It's got 170 videos on everything that I talked about, because promotion is more than just putting videos on social media.
Yeah.
You have to know yourself. You have to know how to communicate to people effectively, the right way to communicate, how to not create antagonism on social media, and how to get people to feel like they can trust you. And this isn't, there's no trick. There's no manipulation. It's just being you, what you are.
Right.
And if you're being what you are, that's what people buy. Oh my God, how many one-liners did I drop in this?
You've been, let me tell you, I gotta go back and listen, and this is gonna be crazy. Okay, so to hear about your programs, what is your website that they need to go to?
You can go to sysloventures.com.
Okay, and you can put that in the comments, right?
Yeah, sysloventures.com/secrets revealed is the actual course, but if you go to sysloventures.com, you can find it on there. Very easy to navigate around. And if you need help with promotion, if you want training, any of those things, you can direct message me. I'll help you with that, whatever you need. Everything. Oh yeah, here's the last thing. Everything that I do always comes from a place of help first. It's like this. Everything I shared with you is just like, I know people on this are going through issues, and I'm trying to talk to everybody at once.
Somebody just posted it up for you, by the way.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. But that's the big thing for me. When I came from help, not desperation, it really made a difference. I had somebody call me, they're like, man, I'm posting, I'm desperate, I need a deal, I need this. I said, well, number one, never promote or call from a place of desperation. Always promote or call from a place of, what can I help you with right now? What do you need? And if you come from that place, it's a different type of a vibe than I need money. Yeah. What happened? No, I can't hear you. There's like another call on or something there. And hey, I'm back.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. It hooked up to, when you get these services and stuff, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, man, it's all right. Don't worry about it, man. No problem.
So we have your website up, and they can go to your website to find out what programs that you have. You have some great stuff that you put up on your social media and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I got a lot of great stuff on YouTube. It's just openly, like just be open with people, right? Just share what you know, and people will come to you.
Robert, let me just tell you before we end this interview, I am honored to be your friend.
Thanks, man.
Whether you realize it or not, you're changing lives when you don't even know it. And you're freeing some people. And last but not least, let your girlfriend know she has an incredible man.
She said I know that.
And I thank you. I think maybe we might need to do a part 2 because
let's do it.
I think we got a lot of people that are on this live, and they're sending some questions. So I think maybe we'll do a part 2 in a couple of weeks and see if people reached out to you and asked about the programs that you're offering and so on and so forth, because we want to let them know that you're available to help them and you have what they need to take it to the next level.
Exactly. And thank you for your kind words, man. I mean, really what it comes from for me was just that I've had people give me wrong information that wasn't able to be applied. And I followed people who I thought were doing the right thing. And then I was like, oops, that's not correct. And it created so much confusion for me that I don't want anyone to experience confusion. I don't want anyone to I don't want that. So I'm trying to make it easy for that kind of walk, So thank you for that. And I'm honored that you had me on. I'm honored that, I'm honored for our friendship, and I'm glad that I could help you and everybody on this live right now. It means a lot.
Absolutely. Guys, check Robert out. Look at what the content he's putting out. It will blow you away. You're going to get addicted, let me just tell you. So have your pad out like I do and follow him on his social media platforms because he's always putting out nuggets. Listen, when you know somebody like Robert that's putting out this information, it's going to blow you away. Take notes. And when you have questions, reach out. He will respond to you. Robert will respond to you within a matter of minutes. But give him 24 hours because he's a busy man, but he will respond to you for sure. Robert, thank you so much, man. I love you. Tell your girlfriend thank you for her time, and you have a fantastic day, man.
All right, buddy. You take care. Bye, everybody.
All right, buddy. Take care.